Merch is one of my favourite things about big movies.
Really?
The Jurassic World thing's got some amazing stuff. Have you seen the new bare-chested Dr. Ian Malcolm action figure?
Wait a minute, let me get a gander at that.
Mattel have made it. It's a little figure of you with your shirt open.
That's so funny. I not only have seen it, they offered it to me, the prototype. They haven't, I don't think, made a bunch of these yet. I hope they produce them, but I love it.
Jeff, it's fantastic to have you on the show. Obviously, as you can tell straight away, that you're a very cool guy, immaculately dressed. You look on point.
I don't know about any of those things. I'm off point. I'm dressed. I don't know. I threw this on, and I don't know about the cool part either. Okay.
But is there anything uncool that you do? What's the least Jeff Goldblum thing that you do? Like jet wash the patio? Is there anything unhip that you do on a weekly basis?
What did you say I do to the patio? I
jet wash.
That must be a Britishism. You mean hose it down?
It's surely more
high-pressured,
than that.
a high-pressured hose, yeah.
Yeah, I like a high-pressure hose. I don't like a dribbly hose.
Nobody
likes a dribbly hose. No, I like something high-pressure. Hey, I don't mind, cleaning up. I used to do that when I was a kid. We had a backyard, and, I used to be in charge of that. These days, well, off the top of my head, speaking of backyards, we have a lovely dog named Woody.
Yeah.
And it's my job. It falls to me, not unhappily. And I think this is cool, but some may disagree. I pick up his poop.
Do you?
Yeah, I have a nice device, and he, he's healthy, and he gives forth, and I pick it up.
Is it a contraption or just like your hand in a bag?
Oh, I don't like the hand in the bag. I should. My wife Emily, who's here, she's intrepid, and she does that all the time. But no, it's not a tongy kind of thing. It's two. In the right hand, I have a little shovel, little thing, and in the left hand, a thing to shove it in.
It's a dustpan and brush.
Yeah.
Yes. It's a version of the dustpan. There's no brush there. They're both metal, but yeah, you get the idea. Would you say that qualifies as uncool?
Not quite as hip as other stuff, and that works.
It's not glamorous.
No.
It's conventional. It's a regular Joe kind of thing, but that's who I am too.
We're hearing tales here of your backyard. Now, in Jurassic World Dominion, you could have a dinosaur in your backyard because they are now amongst us.
Well segued. That's correct.
Thank you.
It's seamless.
It's
seamless.
Not my first rodeo. But if you could have a dinosaur in your backyard, which would it be, Jeff?
Good question, Richie Firth. Let's see. It's it would be, off the top of my head, we got two kids, two little boys, almost 7 and 5, and we read to them every night. One of the books we read to them, because they're into dinosaurs, as we all are, it seems. It's called Danny and the Dinosaur, or Danny. So Danny goes, their pictures, and he goes to a museum, and there's a big Brontosaurus, or one of the sweet, large, wondrous ones, and I think in his imagination starts to talk to him, becomes his friend, gets in his backyard, gives rides to his friends, and helps people across the street. He makes a bridge of himself. So, yeah, that would be fun in the fantasy world.
Yeah.
I mean, in real life, I don't know, the dinosaurs have never actually been, in proximity with people. But, yes, going with the premise. Something like that. Why? What would you pick? Is that a good answer?
I have a young child in my life who is also very much into dinosaurs.
How old is your?
He is 4. And when we wrap things up, he has a question for you. But that's to come.
I love that. What's his name?
His name is Rocco.
Hi, Rocco.
Italian, you see.
Oh, Rocco.
You're pushing this Italian thing, Richie. I really want to step in here.
Rocco, what's your favorite Italian food, may I ask?
It would be pizza.
I love. There's no bad pizza. Every piece has been a treasure in my life. I want more pizza.
Pineapple on a pizza, though?
I would put pineapple on pizza. I love it. I would put anchovies on a pizza.
I agree with that. That's pretty damn good, definitely.
Yes.
So, merch is one of my favourite things about big movies.
Really?
The Jurassic World thing's got some amazing stuff. Have you seen the new bare-chested Dr. Ian Malcolm action figure?
Wait a minute, let me get a gander at that. Give me that phone.
Mattel have made it. It's a little figure of you with your shirt open.
That's so funny. I not only have seen it, they offered it to me, the prototype. They haven't, I don't think, made a bunch of these yet. I hope they produce them, but I love it.
What an honor to have a toy doll made
it's
of you.
It's a great honor indeed, and I saw it. This one, by Mattel. I have nothing to do with it. I don't get any money for it, anything like that. But I like it. It's got little sprigs of hair on the chest.
Lovely.
And if you push it down, that platform that you saw there, my voice will render a few lines from the original movie. Life
Wow.
finds a way, and how about that?
That's good.
Well, that's
I
good
have one. So they gave me one, and I have it on this shelf in my house.
Well, that's good for merch.
Yeah.
But being that this is the final of all the park and the world movies, have you taken anything away as a souvenir yourself from the movies?
Yeah, that's a good question, Richie. Let's see. Yes. I mean, no and yes. You'll see. I contributed something that I owned to the wardrobe that I kept afterwards. Two items that I'm thinking of is the wristwatch, which I had especially designed because I was thinking about it a lot beforehand. Got it designed. It's a Milgauss, which was specifically made for scientists around electronic equipment, so it wouldn't be disturbed or disturb the electronics. So I had one made in a brush black. Metal band with my initials, I am Ian Malcolm, on it anyway. And I took that away, which someday one of my boys may inherit and wear, I can imagine, or they'll throw it away. I don't know, whatever they do. And then the glasses. I had spectacles made that were a little bit an homage to the first glasses the doctor wore, and like that. And I have those. They're actually. Well, they're a little bit like that, but anyway, like that. Those
Could be
are two things.
merch in the future. Just speaking of films, Jeff, you will always have a special place in my heart as you're in one of my favourite movies of all time, The Fly.
Oh, thank you so much.
David Cronenberg's The Fly. So many movies getting big reboots at the moment. Do you think that film will ever get remade? Or it's a shame that it hasn't.
Well, if you'd followed it, if you've been following it, I was proud to be in that. The great David Cronenberg is fantastic. Takes a good director to tell a good story, but it was a nice little part for me. Well, it was originally that story with Vincent Price. So if you've ever seen that movie, so
Back in the 50s type.
Yeah, in the 50s, it's delightful. Ours was a very different kind of imagining of that. And since then there was a second one that I wasn't in. Eric Stoltz, who was in Pulp Fiction and Mask with Laura Dern, played ostensibly my son from that character from the one before, and then it's been remade. No, but yes, no, maybe no. But I tell you, somebody wrote an opera. Fly opera.
Wow.
The Fly the Opera.
I've never heard of. They've invited me to it, but I've never been able to see it. I hear it's great, and David Cronenberg, in fact, staged it at one point. So there have been, people maybe will have stayed interested and might do some other version of
Could
The Fly.
happen. It could happen.
It could happen, or a sock puppet version of it. I can imagine all sorts of things.
I've mentioned about young Rocco.
I want to hear a question from young Rocco.
Very excited that Dad was seeing Dr. Malcolm today.
Really?
Because, of course, to a 4-year-old, that is who you are.
Yes, of course. And
So
he saw Jurassic Park, did he?
He's seen them all.
Really?
We're very unresponsible parents. We've shown him them very early.
But he wasn't too traumatized.
No, he
'cause
was not.
We're about to show our kids this movie in a movie theater for the first time. They've never been to a
Wow.
movie theater. We're going to take them to see an IMAX version of this, and I hope they won't be too
No,
scared.
he was not. He
Okay.
was not.
Great.
But he wanted to ask you how much you actually knew your dinosaurs. So
Okay.
he has asked you
Oh,
this
Rocco's.
question.
I'm seeing, for you listeners, I'm seeing but maybe you can see this picture of
Here we
Rocco.
go.
He's absolutely gorgeous.
What is the name of this dinosaur? It's got a long neck. It reaches up in the trees in the air like that.
I would say, Rocco,
And what is it?
Specifically, what is it?
specifically, Rocco, I would say, although I'm not a paleontologist in real life and I don't even play one in the movie, I'd say it's the first one that we and the audience saw for the first time, the Brontosaur or the Brachiosaur. Is that correct? You tell me, Rocco.
Brachiosaurus.
Yes,
Get in.
there you go.
He's off to a cracking start.
I'm off to a cracking, as
He's
they
got one
say in
more.
England.
What is the name of this dinosaur? It's got a whacking tail and it whacks off the dinosaur like boom, like that.
It's got a whacking tail, and it whacks other dinosaurs with its whacking tail and goes boom.
Yes. Well, Rocco, you're so smart. What an intelligent lad.
It's amazing, actually, really, isn't it, when you stand next to Richie?
Well, no, I can see the
Italian
resemblance, and he's inherited some of that wit. And that's a good question. And Rocco, you know better than I do. I know the one you're talking about. I think it was in one of these world movies, and it's got maybe spikes on its thing. It's a good one. I'll tell you, now that I'm pressed for a name, I'm blank. You have to tell me, Rocco.
Could the young man educate you?
The young man will educate you.
It's an ankylosaurus.
What?
An ankylosaurus. Ankylosaurus.
Ankylosaurus.
Never heard of it.
Ankylosaurus or Ankylosaurus, yes, having nothing to do with his thick ankles or unusual.
Sounds like something you might have a cream for. Isn't
That would be the Cankleosaurus, I believe. No, I've learned much today out of and a child shall lead them. I believe it's true. As always, the old adage is correct. Rocco, thank you.
Jeff, fantastic, lovely to speak to you. Jurassic World Dominion out in cinemas. Go and see it now. Jeff Goldblum, thank you so much.
You're so nice to have me on. Thank you.
Thank you, Jeff.
Thank you very much. Thank you.